What is up, guys? Today I'm here to talk to you about the Jim Root Telecaster by Fender. This guitar is freaking awesome, and I wish Fender would do more guitars like this, more of a nice modern hybrid style of guitar, one with the classic looks with the functionality of modern day technology. This is the thing I love the most about this guitar. It's freaking awesome, and really they should just have Jim Root make any type of guitar possible, which is kind of already happening more or less, but it is really cool what they're doing down at Fender with these things. As you can tell, this is a Telecaster, but the thing is, this doesn't twang like a Telecaster. It's got two big old EMG pickups in there, and it's basically built for heavy metal. It has a compound radius neck, a 12-inch compound radius neck that gives it a nice wide appeal to it. It makes it a lot easier to shred with and really chunk things out with. It's real straight, so when you bend, you don't fret out, you just get the full note. On top of that, it has locking tuners, which are great for restringing as well as keeping everything in tune, keeping everything aligned. And it comes with one volume and a three-way switch down here. Not to be deceived, this looks like a five-way, but it's really three. But the simple design makes it really nice and intuitive to play. It comes with the EMG 60, which is a nicer, cleaner, a more bitier, a more bitey tone for your cleans when you're going to switch to the cleans, or if you are playing solo wise, it gives you a nice singing tone to it, not too bassy, but not as not super treble like, but a real just nice singing tone to it, real beautiful. And it has an EMG 81, which are more or less the cutthroat, brutal, savage kind of destroyer of all things type EMG pickup. Just rips people's faces off and just does not care about it at all. But the combination of these two pickups are really almost all you need in heavy metal, and they sound fantastic. On top of that, you have a nice gloss black pickguard here, and it contrasts really well with the satin white. And satin white was a great idea. It's very subtle. Most guitars you see are very glossy and nice looking, more or less fancy, you know what I mean? But this guitar is very basic. It's very not in your face, and that's one thing I really like about this guitar. It's just kind of does its own thing. It just looks great in a nice classy way to it. This bridge right here is a nice fixed bridge here, and it just keeps everything perfectly in line, perfectly in tune, and it goes through the body, so you get more sound out of it, you get more sustain going. And you got your little component thing here with your battery behind here, which is pretty easy to throw in and out, a 9-volt. On top of that, you have this nice contour right here onto the neck joint, and this gives you more room to access really up high on the neck. It's a pretty cool design here, especially for Fender. The thing that just surprises me the most about this guitar is just how shred worthy it is. So there's so many Fender guitars that I love. I love the classic look of Fender guitars, but like a lot of them aren't shred worthy. They're built more for classic rock, and it can be more of a pain in the butt to play, especially if you're an Ibanez guy going over to a Fender. And that's one reason I like Charvel guitars so much, is because they look like the classic Fender style, but they have the whole shred-worthy playability to something like a Jackson or an Ibanez, and this is really cool for Fender in my opinion. All of these guitars, the Telecaster, are made in Mexico, and Jim Root personally decided to have these guitars made in Mexico because he wanted them to be affordable for his fans, and I think that's really a cool thing he did, because it's very easy, especially if you're a big rock star, just to put out guitars that are going to make you crap tons of money. Those guitars built in California in America are just going to, you know, be priced at those California and American prices, which are very high for a lot of people. But the made in Mexico Fender guitars, although the quality is not as great as American guitars, they are pretty much up there. And if you know your way around setting up a guitar and really fixing things when they go wrong, you pretty much have a great value here. On top of that, this guitar is very different from Fender too, because it has a mahogany body. I can't even remember the last time Fender did a mahogany body. Almost everything they make is alder, but the mahogany body works really well for hard rock and heavy metal. And the thing about it, it just has this kind of a bassier, more hardcore type low-end sound to it that an older body just cannot provide. And I think that's a really cool asset to this whole entire guitar right here. On top of that, the thing that I like about this guitar too is that Jim Root says in multiple interviews he put his name on the back of the Telecaster neck here just because he wants the guitar to become like its owners. And I think that's a really neat idea, and it's a cool thing that Jim Root did as well. I think he's very cool dude and really down to earth, and I really feel that he's in touch with the most modern guitarists, and that's what makes him so cool as a person. He wanted the guitar to basically look like a Telecaster, like somebody could pick it up off of a guitar rack and just be like, wow, this is a cool guitar. I don't even know that it's a signature. It just looks cool. It sounds cool. It's just a great guitar, which is, you know, amazing. But he also liked the whole satin finish so that you could get marks on it, and so that the guitar would become your own and become an instrument that becomes your instrument and not just Jim Root's instrument, which I think is really cool. But as you can see, there's a bunch of scratches on here. I purposely don't try to scratch my guitars. They just kind of end up getting that way. And I think it's kind of neat because it kind of starts telling its own story and kind of wearing out as the years go on, as well as the white finish eventually starts turning more and more yellow and cream-like in color. And I think that type of sentimentality is really neat as a guitar player over the years. It's really cool to see your guitar start out fresh and then just evolve with you and become part of who you are and your playing, and being a part of your trips and your travels, your adventures, and just seeing how things turn out, you know. At the end of the day, this thing is a workhorse. I love it. It sounds great, it looks great, and it just stays in tune, which is what I like. I originally bought this because I had so many problems with Floyd Roses, which I'm still working on. I have a huge love-hate relationship with the Floyd Rose, but for me, just having a fixed bridge and locking tuners is more or less all I freaking need on a guitar to keep going.